Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back to Wall Street Silver. Our guest today is my good friend, Chris Vermeulen, Chief Market Strategist at thetechnicaltraders.com. Welcome back, Chris.
Hey, thanks for having me, Ivan.
Yeah, it's a huge pleasure. A lot has happened since we last had you on about a month or two ago, and I wanted to bring you back on to talk about everything that's happened in the market. First, a lot of people are talking about everything that's happened in gold and silver and how it's staying stronger with these war times and more war that's breaking out in the Middle East. What are you watching right now, Chris? What is the technical traders watching?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen gold. I think the last time we talked, gold was like in free fall mode, and it is at a V-shaped recovery. It's skyrocketing higher. Probably a good chunk of that, obviously, probably having to do with the war. We have been seeing the dollar move up and gold moving up together. So, we're definitely seeing fear in the markets. When there's fear, the dollar typically goes up, and we can see gold go up as well. So typically, gold and oil do well during war kind of times. So it's been pretty interesting to see how it rally back. We're flirting with that $2,000 mark for gold.
Right.
And, we could go back up and try and test those highs that we've seen previously up around that, $2,080 mark. We've seen that happen a few times in the past. I can share my chart so you can just see a visual
Yeah,
here.
let's take a look at these charts.
So, when we take a look at this is the monthly chart, and we're rallying right back up here on the hard right edge. We could go all the way up somewhere around to that 2090, 2085 area, and we'd be flirting with, a break to new all-time highs. So it's pretty exciting to see. We'll see if gold pokes to nominal new highs or not. I do feel like we're still probably going to have some difficult times in the markets. I
Right.
think this pop and rally is more so a little bit heavier weighted with the kind of the war going on,
Right.
giving it a little bit of extra juice. So we'll see how it reacts when it gets up into these upper wicks. So more or less what the wicks are, these areas right here, this kind of blue shaded area where price had rallied up. And then by the end of the month, each bar here is 1 month, it had been sold back down. And so there's obviously a lot of sellers lurking up in those areas. So momentum and news can drive it up into that price, but it doesn't hold for very long before, a big fat thumb comes in, hits the sell button, and drives the market back down. So we are flirting with that kind of resistance zone. And the question is it going to get traction? Are we going to break out and see a big rally here, or is it going to struggle up in this area and then potentially pull back and consolidate for several more months, which is what I think is going to happen. But again, it really doesn't matter what I think is going to happen. We just have to follow the charts. As a technical trader, it can go up or down. It doesn't matter. We just want to make sure we're on the same side. So gold is getting up to an exciting point. Is it going to break out, or is it going to get rejected? That's the big question that everybody is really kind of wanting to know, and we have to wait to see it. There's no other way to figure it out until it happens.
Yeah, and where do you see the charts for silver? I know we talked about gold, but where do you see the silver charts heading? Or where are they currently at?
Yeah, if we take a look at this is the same time frame for silver. It's not the most exciting looking chart. It's struggling. We're definitely nowhere up near these highs where gold would be equivalent to trading right here.
Right.
If we zoom out to the big picture of silver, gold is actually equivalent to trading way up here. So
that's interesting.
Gold's pushing new all-time on the edge and new all-time highs, and silver is way, way, way down. But silver's been building a big base. I mean, this is a multi-year out of favor. It went from a downward trend to more or less kind of building a base across here. And then we had a nice move up, and it's faded back down, and it's building a launch pad. More or less, it's building this kind of this ramp to go higher. So silver could definitely push up. If gold pushes up, we're probably going to see them move together. I think a lot of this is going to come back down to, though, the overall economy. If we go into a recession, if we see a stage 4, a big financial decline, a reset in stocks, real estate, that's going to create more or less selling in commodities as well.
Right.
And that'll keep probably gold and silver kind of muted. And we're just not seeing leveraged money want to move into like silver or gold miners yet. Even if we look at gold miners, because I do like to look at the gold miners because they're kind of the leveraged play. You can see they're nowhere near the highs of where they were back in 2011. and they're really just kind of bouncing bottom down here. So very similar to silver, they've carved out a bottom, they're pulling back. We're just not seeing money move into that space. So to me, gold has been holding up really well because it's a global safe haven. It's got low volatility, which means it doesn't move much on a daily basis. So you can put a lot of money into it. And that's why a lot of people go to gold, because it's a lot more stable than silver and miners.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, during difficult times, we kind of got like two wars going on, probably more than that, depending on how you consider what a war is. But we've got definitely a strong time for gold to hold its ground and do very well. So there's a huge disconnect between gold and the rest of the precious metal space. And gold is, I talked about this years ago. I said it's always going to be the metal you least expect that does really well. And everybody has been like, loading up silver stackers. I got more silver than gold. But I mean, gold could be that big, slow moving beast that at some point just skyrockets
Oh yeah, it
and
could hit
takes
10K
off.
easily in the next 10, 15 years. And that's
Oh
a
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It
easily.
could totally do that. And it's going
Yeah.
to catch a lot of people off guard. And who knows what silver would do. I would think silver percentage wise
Would
would
go up a
probably
little
still
bit, yeah.
outperform, but gold, no doubt, is holding its value better than everything else. It is testing, flirting, just a couple percent away from all-time highs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a solid asset, pardon the pun.
So I just wanted to let everyone know about our new sponsor, Strategic Wealth Preservation. They are an international precious metals dealer, and they are a secured storage provider that have headquarters in the Cayman Islands. The company owns and operates a large Class 3 UL rated vault in the Grand Caymans, and they offer other strategic locations as part of its global storage network. They specialize in the acquisition, secure storage, and liquidation of precious metals for individuals, companies, trusts, and wealth management professionals on behalf of their clients. So if you guys want to check them out, the link is in the description below. Do you think people or countries like China and Russia and countries that are not in the West are loading up on their gold stacks and loading up on their physical assets because they've seen the what the US dollar has been used as? Like, because they've obviously used the US dollar as a weapon against sanctions. You can sanction countries. So do you think maybe this steady rise in gold is a push away from US dollar in a certain terms like of Russia and moving into physical assets?
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't get too deep into that side of things, but I think there's a lot of concerns about currency, where
Right.
things are going to be a year or two from now. I mean, who knows how all this is going to unwind. As we know, there's never been a fiat currency that's survived very long.
That's
They've
true.
survived fairly long, but not long enough to hold value. Like they
That's
just,
true.
everybody's talking about, I mean, the dollar collapse has been talk for like 15, 20 years, I swear.
Yeah. Oh, it's
So
been forever.
it's a never ending kind of thing, but I do think there's been a lot of damage. The weird thing is, and I don't know this space, I don't go too deep into it, but it's like
Right.
every country is pretty much like broke. All they do is borrow and give away free
It's
money that they
true.
don't even, they just make. I mean, the world is a giant game of Monopoly of all cheaters.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's
it's
true.
just, I don't know. I don't even know how to say it, but everybody's just cheating and they're giving away free money and saying, well, I'll give you $500 now if you give me 500 later, plus, a little green house,
Yeah.
whatever.
And I was
It's,
watching some videos on like credit default swaps in 2008 and what caused the financial crisis and all the bank collapses that happened back then. And I mean, it could easily happen again. It's just like a ticking time bomb. What do you think, Chris?
I do too. I mean, they say banks are more secure than ever, and then suddenly, like a bank goes under in 48 hours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, the financial markets it's all BS politics. I mean, I don't get into any of it because it just drives me. It gets under my skin, and all I do is just follow price and just focus on my assets.
Yeah, that's right.
But you can't trust anything. They say we're secure. We're not. We're not. There's no guarantees in life. If a bank can go under in 48 hours, Fred, we're screwed.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Now we talked about a lot about silver and gold, but what else is the technical traders following too? Do you guys follow like oil, different other commodities? What else do you have a close eye on?
Yeah, we've been watching oil. I mean, oil looks like looks like it's breaking down. It's definitely struggling here. I'm surprised it's not actually doing a little bit better.
Interesting.
But overall, oil has had a very good year in 2022. It had a huge move. This year, energy stocks were some of the top leading sector. It was the leading sector for most of the year.
Right.
And gold's trading up near the highs. So those two combined, when you look at cycles of what commodities or assets do very well just before there's a major financial reset, a big kind of reset or bear market,
Right.
gold and oil are the two that shine. And they have been doing that on and off for the last 2 years. Gold is threatening all-time highs. All this stuff is telling us there is global concern. People are worried. And for some reason, people, if they're worried, usually oil can do well because we're going to need it for wars, because when people aren't happy, they seem to fight. And then they're worried about financial currencies and stuff. They want to move to a physical asset,
Right.
not just a stock that can like vanish overnight, but they want to own a block of something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're seeing those. But I mean, we're looking at right now, there's not a whole lot of interest in the stock market. I look at the stock market as one asset. It doesn't matter if you own 1,000 stocks across different sectors. If you own it, all those stocks are really just one investment. When the stock market goes up, typically all the stocks go up. When it goes down, they all go down. So you have to look at the stock market as one asset. And we're not in the stock market. We're not interested in it at this point. Maybe we're going to get another buy signal, in a few weeks if this market can find a bottom and start a holiday rally into the end of the year. But right now, we're kind of just collecting interest on the sidelines
Right.
in an ETF and just collecting daily interest until we get a new setup somewhere, whether it's in the dollar ETF or wherever it's going to be. So, I mean, the markets are just difficult. And I'm not very excited about stocks. I think there's going to be a lot of potential over the next 2-3 quarters of the year, like going through the next 9 months.
Right.
I think it's going to be really, really exciting times for real estate and stocks and precious metals, but it's going to be all over the place. So it's more about preserving capital, I think, over the next 9 months or so, letting things reevaluate, kind of reset. And I think there's going to be some great opportunities. But I mean, these are major trends that are working out, and everything right now is overvalued still, in my opinion. There is no value investing right now. So we have to wait for things to get undervalued or back down to what I think would be fair value, which is a long ways lower for, I think, a lot of things.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Well, Chris, it's such a huge pleasure as always having you come down to Wall Street Silver, tongue twister. But thank you so much again. And where can people contact you? Where can people find you, your books?
Sure. Yeah. If they want to get a book, Asset Revesting is one I published this year, a few months ago, Amazon, Chapters, wherever you buy your books. I talk about how we rotate our capital into only assets that are going up. For example, we're not in stocks right now. We're elsewhere. And they can go to my website, thetechnicaltraders.com. And I got a free newsletter. I talk about the stages. If they download the newsletter, there's a PDF and infographic. It'll walk you through kind of how to see the market from 3 different views. And when you know where we are in all of those views, you really get a picture of where we're headed over the next 1 to 2 years and how you need to be financially, mentally prepared and financially prepared, because it could be a roller coaster ride, and you want to make sure you're riding the roller coaster with a smile and not, cringing and fearful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, I want to thank you so much, and hopefully we can have you back on soon as the market develops.
Sounds great. Thanks, Ivan.
Take care.